cooking show. We're missing you so much at Cool Kids, but we thought we'd bring Cool Kids to you at home. Today I'm going to be cooking Anzac biscuits and teaching you how to do that as well. So what you'll need to start off with to cook Anzac biscuits, you're going to need a big mixing bowl to mix all the ingredients in. You're going to need a baking tray, covered with some baking paper so they don't stick to the tray. You're going to need all of these ingredients. You're going to need some golden syrup, some bicarb soda, some brown sugar, some rolled oats, some coconut, some flour, and some butter. That's all your ingredients that you are going to need. Alright guys, so before we start cooking, the most important thing is to make sure we wash our hands. If you need a little bit of help on how to wash your hands, remember to check out Nikki's Cool Kids video on her washing hands song, which is really, really cool. So check that out, wash your hands, and then we can start to cook. The first step you're going to need to do is to preheat the oven. Now you might need to ask an adult to help you with this. It needs to go to 175 degrees Celsius. So that's 175 degrees Celsius. I'm going to do that over here on my oven. The next thing, once you've got your oven starting to preheat and getting nice and warm to cook your cookies, you're going to need to start to put your dry ingredients into a bowl. So the first dry ingredient I'm going to be putting in is my plain flour. Now I need 1 cup of plain flour. So I've got my measuring cup, so I can measure out 1 cup of plain flour into the bowl. And we're going to put that into our mixing bowl. Our next ingredient we're going to put into our mixing bowl is our rolled oats. We need 1 cup of our rolled oats as well, so same amount as you used for the flour. So I've got my measuring cup. I'm going to pour in my 1 cup. Oopsies, a little bit too much, that's okay. That'll just give them a little bit extra oats for our biscuits. There's nothing wrong with a tiny bit extra. Our next dry ingredient we're going to put in is our sugar. So we've got our brown sugar. Brown sugar is good because it goes really nice and sweet, and we like our Anzac biscuits really nice and sweet. We want the same measurement again, exactly the same, 1 cup. So we're going to pour our brown sugar into our cup. And we're going to pour that into our cup. So the next ingredient we're going to put in is our coconut. Now we're going to only need a 1/2 cup of our coconut, so not a full cup. So I'm just going to use my full cup and fill it up about halfway. So about half. Beautiful, and we're going to put that in. So now we've got all our dry ingredients in there. We're going to get a spoon and mix our dry ingredients around. So you can see what it looks like when you've got just our dry ingredients. Now you can see it's not really sticking together. So what we might need to stick our ingredients together are some wet ingredients. So our wet ingredients are going to be our butter, which we need to melt. So you might need to ask an adult to help you to melt some butter. I'm going to do mine on the stove, but you could do yours in a microwave if you've got a microwave at home. And you need 125 grams of melted butter. So once you start melting that butter, you're going to add in your other wet ingredients. So your other wet ingredients are, you can see our golden syrup, which is really yummy and really sweet. It's going to make our cookies nice and sticky, and so we can make them into our balls for later on. So I'm going to start to melt my butter. Now I need 125 grams, and I need to start melting it on the stove. And don't think that I forgot about our bicarb soda. Even though it is a dry ingredient, it's going to be mixed in with our melted butter. So that's going to come a little bit later. So I'm starting to melt my butter. It's just on a low heat over the stove, so it slowly starts to melt. So the butter, don't want it to get too hot, so you don't want to overheat it. But just a really low heat. So as you can see, it's starting to melt. It's getting nice and runny. So now we have our melted butter in our saucepan. We're going to add in 2 tablespoons of golden syrup. So we want 2 tablespoons into the warm melted butter. So we're going to put 1 and 2 into our melted butter. We're then going to mix it a little bit in there. And then we're going to add in half a teaspoon of our bicarb soda. So our bicarb soda is this one here. We're going to only add in half a teaspoon, so only a little amount. So just half a teaspoon we're going to put into our melted butter mixture. We're going to stir it around, so see it's all starting to combine in our saucepan. We're just mixing. So once this is all mixed, we're going to add it into our dry ingredients in our bowl over here. So we're making sure it's all combined, and then we're going to pour it very carefully into our bowl of dry ingredients. So that's our flour and our sugar and our coconut and our oats. We're going to add it all. So we're going to use a spoon. We're going to stir it all together. So as you can see, now we've got our wet ingredients in here. It's made it nice and sticky and a nice dark brown colour. So we're starting to mix it and it's starting to stick together. Can you see it's all starting to stick together a little bit more? And it smells really nice and sweet. So once your mixture's all nice and combined, we're going to use our freshly washed hands and we're going to roll our mixture into balls. So you want to be careful it doesn't start to fall apart too much, and you want it just to be a nice little size ball like this that just fits in the palm of your hand. So once you have it into your nice round balls, you're going to place it onto your lined baking tray just like this. Now you don't want to put them right next to each other because they will get a little bit bigger as they go in the oven. So you don't want to put them right next to each other because they might get a little bit squishy. So just give them a little bit of room on the tray to grow. Just rolling some nice balls. All nice and spread out. You might need to get a second tray because all of my mixture didn't quite fit all on one tray. So you might need 2 trays to fit all of these cookies on there. So once you have them all ready like this, you're going to ask an adult again to help you put them into your preheated oven. So we're going to pop them into the oven. When I'm ready to put them into the oven, I'm using my handy oven mitt to make sure my hands stay nice and safe and they don't get burnt. It's really important to use an oven mitt or a tea towel or something to keep your hands nice and safe so you don't hurt yourself. We're going to put these into the oven. Remember, we preheated it at 175 degrees Celsius. We're going to put them in for about 15 to 20 minutes, just constantly checking to make sure they're not burning. So we're going to put them in, and when they're done, we're going to have some really yummy, chewy goodness Anzac biscuits. Yum. Alright, it's time. It's been 15 to 20 minutes and I can smell our Anzac biscuits are perfectly cooked. I'm going to get them out of the oven. Remember to use an oven mitt or a tea towel so you don't hurt your hands when you get them out. And they smell amazing. You'll see they're nice and golden brown. And lucky we spread them out because they're just almost touching each other. So we spread them just the perfect amount. Yum, I'm so excited to eat them and I hope you guys enjoy this recipe. It's going to be really yummy. Bye!